All right, let us welcome back Taylor Starling, who has herself a big opportunity in front of her. August 27th, BKFC 28. She will challenge Christine Ferea for the BKFC 125-pound title. It's the type of fight she has been asking for over a year now. And finally, Taylor, it is happening. Congratulations on getting the fight. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm great. I'm so excited. Like you said, I've been asking for this fight. I've been ready for this mentally and physically. And now that it's happening, it's just wild. At first, it felt like it was going to be forever. And now it's only a few weeks out and I'm just so ready.
So what means more to you, fighting for the title or fighting in Albuquerque? Both probably mean a significant amount to you, but this combat sports story, this tale began for you in Albuquerque. What means more to you?
Man, fighting, I'm going to have to say it's hard because I want to say fighting for the belt, but fighting, it's just a whole full circle moment. And fighting for the belt, of course, because that's the goal. I want to become the women's flyweight champion. And I've had that goal in mind since I got into bare knuckle. But fighting in Albuquerque, when they told me that it was going to be in Albuquerque, I think I cried for 24 hours. It's just wild because that's where I started my dream. That's where I first became a fighter. That's where I first learned how to even throw a punch. So to get to go back home and have all the people that I went to school with, all my friends, my family, it's going to be insane. This venue's selling out and I'm going to leave the champion.
Yeah, the patience really paid off because after the win it was July of last year after the big finish of Cassie Robb, you're like, here we go. Let's do this title. Let's do a tournament. And we felt like this could have come a lot sooner, but this is way better than doing it in Lincoln, Nebraska. Nothing against Lincoln, Nebraska, but the patience has paid off, has it not?
Oh, 100%. It was originally, I think they had mentioned us possibly fighting June 24th in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And that was kind of what I was going off of. And I was excited for that because Florida's electric. That's a great crowd, great environment when you're there. It's like you're on vacation. But when I just saw, they didn't even tell me Albuquerque. I had just seen that the date they gave me was the Albuquerque venue. And I lost it. I'm so excited. It's going to be wild.
I'm sure a lot of people who are listening or watching this right now saw the video of you just walking up on Christine and taking the belt from her outside of a venue prior to an event. And, you ladies had to be separated. I mean, there has to be a story here, right? Was this something that you had in mind? If I see her, I'm just going to walk up and take the belt? Or is this something more you know what? Now I see her. Maybe I'll just walk up on her right now and just take the belt from her. Was this an in the moment thing or was this premeditated?
I knew that Christine was going to be there, so I planned to go because she just kept talking so much shit. She kept talking so much shit and saying, if you want this belt, come and get it. If you want this belt, come and get it. And I was like, fuck that. I'm going to go, pardon my French, I'm going to go and take the belt. She keeps talking all this smack. Why not go and do it? I'm not scared of her. And I think a lot of people play into that mindset with Christine where they just get in the head game thing with her. And I'm not worried about it. So I thought, why not just go down to Florida? I know I'm going to run into her. And if I run into her, I'm going to snatch that belt and cause a commotion. I had been asking for the title fight and I was asking nicely, please, I think I deserve it. I think I've earned it. And I've just learned throughout the business of fighting, if you want something, sometimes you just got to stir up some shit to get what you want. And so I thought, no better way than to just show up and cause a scene.
What if she didn't have the belt with her? I know you just would have got up to her.
Yeah, I would have been like, what's up, Christine? What's up? I'm here. I would have just said, I would have done the same exact thing. I just wouldn't have ripped the belt off of her. The funny thing is in my head, I was like, please don't drop the belt when you grab it off of her. And I dropped it immediately.
Oh, I know.
Like a nerd.
Oh, that's so funny. So, I mean, where did it seems like there's a little beef here, not just, and it started before that because you mentioned social media. The social media game in BKFC is unlike any other organization in combat sports, I think. So was this something that started on social media or was this something that's been going on for months? How did this beef all begin between the two of you?
I mean, to me, I'm I don't really even have any personal issue with Christine. I think she just talks a lot of shit. I think that's her way of preparing for a fight is to try to get into people's heads. And like I said, I'm just not playing that game. But fighting is personal in general. Like, you're going to fight somebody. It's hard. Like, I respect Christine as a pugilist in fighting. I respect her as for everything that she's done in her career. But then she runs her fucking mouth like way too much. She posts like she doesn't really have good ammo against me. And everything that she does seems like grasping for straws. And I just ignore it. Like, I don't have time for it. And whatever. If she doesn't like me, she doesn't like me. Oh, fucking well, guess what? We're going to fight and we can settle in there. And other than that, like, I have a lot of fucking respect for her, but she talks shit. I think that's, like I said, I think that's her way of preparing for a fight and getting herself like psyched up for it. And it is what it is. I don't care. I don't have any like hard feelings towards Christine. I don't dislike her personally. I just like, we're going to fight, and that's what it is.
Do you feel like you are being overlooked heading into this one? Because I haven't seen any like betting odds, but it sounds like you have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. You see the social media posts. We mentioned the social media universe that BKFC has, not just with the fighters, but the fans as well. Things can get a bit harsh on there at times. Do you feel like you are not getting enough credit heading into this fight?
100%, but I love it. I love it. It motivates me even more. It adds more fuel to the fire because I know that people are sleeping on me. And it's because Christine's so good at talking. Christine is so good at talking. She's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong. She's an amazing fighter. But Christine has this effect on people where she talks and sells it and makes people believe that she's just like indestructible. And I don't believe that facade. Like, I'm not falling for that shit. I've seen Christine get beaten, and I know that I have the key to taking that belt from Christine, and I can't wait. And I just love it. I can't wait to not only prove to myself, but prove to everybody that's doubting me, like, I'm coming to show them what's up.
The title was finally created. It finally happened. Knucklemania 2. Christine wins the belt. She beats Britain Hart, unanimous decision. Were you impressed with Christine's performance? What did you take away from that one?
I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say I was like, oh my gosh, that was like the best thing ever. Like, it was a good fight. It was a good fight, and Christine edged out Britain. I think that Britain could have beaten Christine if she would have put more pressure on and didn't back up as much as she was. It was a good fight. It was a good fight. So I'm not going to take that away from her. I think that was a very well-deserved fight. I think that Britain and Christine definitely deserved to fight for the title. Of course, I was a little salty that it wasn't me in there, but I did understand why. Like, they're both vets of bare knuckle, and they both earned that. But yeah, I mean, it was a good fight, but I see a lot of flaws in Christine's game, so can't wait to expose them.
Speaking of being overlooked, Britain Hart, it's crazy that I was in Florida almost a year to the day that we're actually talking right now. I think we're like almost on the year anniversary of that BKFC card. And you two are at the press conference, and you're super close, and you're good friends, and you're trying to work together to set up this massive friend versus friend fight for the title, and how this, we'll do this fight, but it's going to be for a lot of money. And now the relationship seems to have soured. And I talked to her heading into her last fight, and she said, essentially, look, like, in BKFC, anything can happen when Christine and Taylor get in there, but she feels like Christine's just going to run you over in the first round. Your reaction to that? Again,
I mean, just add her
to
the list. Add her to the list of people that doubt me. I don't care. I don't know. I don't know what's up with Miss Britain. I don't know. I think I said something about like thinking that Pro Gonzalez was going to beat her. And I mean, people have opinions every single day. It doesn't mean I dislike Britain. It doesn't mean I have any ill will feelings or anything like that towards her. It's just something I said, and, people get emotional and run with it. And that's all it is. I don't have time to like sit and worry about if people like me or not, or dislike me or what they say. I really, like, to be honest, I don't care at all. And I think that she is a great fighter. I hate that she called herself a gatekeeper. Because, like, to me, a gatekeeper is someone that's just, like, not the best, but not the worst. And they're just, like, kind of stagnant. And I definitely think that Britain Hart didn't really give herself credit on that one. I think she's a little bit more than a gatekeeper. And, I, like, wish her the best. And I think that she's a pioneer for women's bare knuckle fighting. And, that's really, like, all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're not overlooking the task at hand here because you're fighting Christine for the title, but no matter what happens August 27th, especially if you win, and you become the champion, we have to do this fight with you and Britain, right? Like, I just feel like it's right there. I think we have to do this. Or like, don't we? It just seems like a big fight for you, for her, for the promotion, for everybody, right?
I definitely think like that would be something that happens. I mean, you know, there's nobody else. It's like me, Britain, and Christine are up at the top, and everyone else, I think everyone else is trying to get there, but then they kind of, something edges them out, and it's just me, Christine, and Britain at the top. And, you know, honestly, if that fight happens, that's a sellout show. That's a selling out fight. That's a money-making fight. And I'm always for that.
Yeah, love that idea. No matter what happens, August 27th, I think that's the fight to make. But of course, August 27th is a big one for you. The title, this won't be just walking up to her outside of a venue and ripping it out of her arms. This will be you getting into the BKFC ring with the chance to take it from her in a competitive way. So what's the headline going to read August 27th? Hometown fight, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Your chance to become the BKFC world champion. What's the headline going to read when this is all said and done?
Taylor Starling and new women's flyweight champion. Yeah, I see it. I feel it. I'm envisioning it. Every single day, like, I'm just getting better and better. I've been working so hard. Everyone's going to see a completely different Taylor. Like, I don't think people realize how I've switched every little bit of my game just for this. And I've been training so hard, and I'm not coming up short. I'm just not. And it's going to be new. I promise you.
I cannot wait to see this fight. A couple more questions before I let you go. One thing that I've seen on social media from you, and a lot of other fighters have done the same. Beck Rawlings has talked about it. Paige VanZant's talked about it, and others. Just the fan site. I don't know if it's OnlyFans. I'm not too familiar with it, but I know you have a site, and I know that sometimes you have to defend yourself against this for some reason, that people like to use this as an attack on you. But at the same token, like, you're trying to make money, you're trying to pay to train and pay to travel and pay for your coaches to come out and corner you for these big opportunities like a world title fight for this. I just want to, kind of talk about just why you feel the need to defend yourself in those types of situations when it's pretty clear what you're trying to do here. You're not trying to do anything out of line. You're not doing anything like illegal or anything. This is just something that people have to do to help pay the costs, there are a lot, to be a professional fighter in 2022.
100%. And like, I always say to people, if you don't pay my bills and you don't put food in my kids' mouths and things like that, then your opinion is just not shit to me. But I hate it, because anybody that sits and says that they would not do that, if they don't, whatever, if you have the morality and you think that it's wrong to go and do that, then like, I understand. But at the same time, like, to do that, to follow your dreams and follow your career and make shit happen, like, to sit and say that you wouldn't do something so simple as having a fan site or an OnlyFans to be able to do what you genuinely want to do. So before my fan site, I was working one full-time job, 9 to 8 p.m. During the week. And then I had 2 part-time jobs that I would have to go work on the weekends. And then I would have to somehow manage to find how to train in between that. So it's like, the fan site was not something that I was like super eager to do, but I knew that I wanted to become a better fighter and be able to fully train and give my all to fighting. So I thought, man, I'm going to do it. And thankfully I took that leap of faith, and I have the fan site, and it's great. And it's also like, people just think that like a fan site is just selling naked pictures and stuff like that, but you can go on there and like have a more personal conversation with your fans. And it doesn't always have to revolve around sexuality. Like, there's people who go on there that are just fans of mine that enjoy my fight career, that just want to say, hey, and like get a response back, because Instagram filters a lot, Facebook filters a lot. Some people just want to have a conversation and be able to say like, oh my God, Taylor or Paige VanZant or whoever. And yeah, it just was more so for me to be able to fully give myself to fighting. And there are times that like I lay awake at night and I'm like, man, this isn't what I would really like to be making my money doing. But unfortunately, fighting, like, people have a grand idea that fighting, once you sign professional, that you're like some rich millionaire. And that's just not the way that it goes. And you have to build up to that, and you have to earn it and work hard. But you can't do that unless you're giving yourself to it fully. So that's kind of my 2 cents on it. And it used to bother me way more, like a year ago when I started it, like when people would come at me about it. And now I'm just like, you know what? Like everybody's naked at the end of the day. Everybody's got their own things. Everybody's got demons. So whatever, as long as I'm like being able to train full time, my kids are fed, my bills are paid, and I still get to continue to do what I love, then why would I give a shit what anybody has to say about that?
Well said. And
I always say, never take advice from somebody that you like, that you would not like, what is it? Never take advice from someone you wouldn't like, that you don't even know. Like, don't take advice from somebody you don't know that you wouldn't. Yeah.
And they're paying you, like you said, they're not paying your bills. So shut your damn mouth.
Exactly.
I mean, shut your damn mouth.
Anybody that wants to talk shit, if you want to come pay some of these bills, you're more than welcome to. That'd be great.
I'm not sure like what the dollars and cents of it, of all of it is. And I'm sure at this point, because you are getting more popular, you're becoming one of the stars of the promotion. I'm sure it has become pretty lucrative. You mentioned having, you once had all these jobs, full-time job plus to 2 part-time jobs. Doesn't sound like it's really that way any longer, which is good. But let's just say you win the belt. You're starting to get that PVZ money. They're offering you a big contract, all that stuff. Would you stop doing that? Or is that kind of like part of who you are now and part of your journey?
I think like, of course there's a part of me that would want to give it up. And then there's a part of me that's like I said, even aside from anything else on the fan site and the sexy content and anything like that, like you get to really, there's people I get to connect with on there that are just fans that want to support. So like, I mean, I would maybe dial it back some just because it is like that. And like having a fan site, people don't realize is like having a full-time job. You have to constantly be on there responding to people, talking to people, doing different content every day. And it's literally like a full-time job. But I would try to maybe dial it back some, but I would keep it just because like there are people on there that support me and want to talk to me and want to be on there. And that's really cool. Like there would be no, I mean, I don't really feel like I've already gone this far. Why would I take it away?
100%. Last thing, we saw that a former opponent of yours, you and Charissa Shigala, beat the brakes off of each other and had an incredible fight at Knucklemania. And now Charissa's got to go fight Paige in London. Just wanted to get your reaction to that fight and just your general thoughts on the matchmaking and the matchup itself.
I think it makes sense just because of both of their records. Like it definitely is like a fight that makes sense. But at the same time, like I believe that they were trying to set Paige VanZant up with someone a little less seasoned to get her the edge out on that. I do believe so. I mean, I love an underdog story, so I would love for Charissa Shigala to come and just beat her. But I do have a lot of respect for Paige. I think it's a great matchup. It makes sense. But then I do also believe that, like, I think that a lot of people are going to sit and go, this is an easy win for Paige. So I do hope that Charissa wins in that regard. But also, if Paige wins, like, it would be a perfect cap off to the end of her contract. And we'll see if she stays with bare knuckle after this. I don't know. I'm very interested to see how it goes. But if you ask me my prediction, I think that Paige VanZant will win.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup. Are you? A lot of people didn't think Paige would take this last fight. That after the Ostovich loss, that she would just be done. She signed the contract with AEW. She's doing a ton of things. She's making a lot of money. That she doesn't really need to do this. But the fact that she is doing this, I know talking to Britain, she was like very impressed and very proud that Paige decided to carry on through and finish out the deal. Are you proud of her as well for doing that when she certainly doesn't have to?
Absolutely. I mean, I know it's a contract, but I mean, Paige VanZant's in the position to be like, man, if I just don't even want to do it, I don't, she wouldn't have to. Like, she really would not have to. I mean, she has a contract, but Paige VanZant could have walked away and said no. So I'm actually excited for her. And it's cool. Like, she came in, she did the damn thing. If she stays with bare knuckle, great. If she doesn't and she goes on, like, that woman's a boss. Like, I sit all the time and I look at her stuff and her content and the way that she does things. And if anybody talks shit about Paige VanZant in any way like that woman is a hustler and she is making money and she's marketing and she's smart and she's building something for herself that's beyond fighting. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to aspire to do. Like, I might have a fan site and do modeling, but I want to build something that's ready for me to go after fighting's over. You know, a lot of people know fighting doesn't last forever, and that girl has made an empire of herself. And so very admirable, and I'm excited to see how it goes.
Of course, August 27th, your big moment. You get the chance to fight for a world title. This is the one you've been asked for a while. Do we have a walkout picked out? Do we have things picked out? Are we still pondering this? You don't have to reveal it, obviously, but the Mike Jones one is one of my favorites from being in that arena. That was incredible.
Yeah, I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do because like watching Israel Adesanya's walkout, like the Undertaker was so awesome. Like, oh my God, I had chills. But I was like, I can't just like go out there and do the same exact thing. That's like that wouldn't be the same. So I'm trying to think of something big. I just love dancing, but like I know that if I don't come out dancing ridiculously to like some old school rap, like people might be disappointed. To be honest, I had like this idea in my head that came to me. I'm not going to give it away, but I was watching Django, and I was watching the movie Django, and there were just a couple scenes that I was like, man, if I could do like this gunslinger kind of vibe. But I'm like, you know what? I might just like pick some Wu-Tang or something and like do my thing, do my normal thing.
There you go. Well, tune in August 27th. We'll see what walkout music Taylor walks to. We'll see if she can walk out the BKFC 125-pound champion when she takes on Christine Ferea, BKFC 28. Taylor, thank you so much for the time as always. Great catching up with you. It's been far too long, and all the best to you in the build and in the fight itself.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Mike. I appreciate it.